what is a targeted individual? Like what really is going on in their environment, right? In our environment, right? It's directed energy weapon attacks. It's intelligence and counterintelligence operations by real on-the-ground operators, okay? And everything that comes with that. That's a huge category. That's break-ins, that's poisonings, those are the biggest ones. There's also very terrible ones that are hard to talk about, like rapes, murders, kidnappings. That very much does happen too. There is, I know, it's like take a moment of silence for all the people that I know have been personally affected and some killed from the counterintelligence poisonings and things of that sort. There's many that I know of. But what else is there? Directed energy weapons, counterintelligence operations. That's the quote gang stalking. We'll get to that in a second. What else do you experience? Sabotage of personal items, blacklisting in the community, slander and libel. Obviously, it goes with that blacklisting hand in hand. Ostracization, abandonment, I guess.
Mob stalking at work.
Stalking at work, lots of stalking, yep, lots of community stalking and harassment. What else is there? There's your family. They will propagate lies and do the same thing the community will do, generally speaking. If anybody wants to jump in, what else makes you a, quote, targeted individual? If anybody wants to jump in right now, it'd be a great time. I think I pretty much hit all of it, the big ones, right? And there's a lot of little ones. So there are people in this, quote, community of, quote, well, not unquote, survivors who pretend to be themselves a survivor when they are someone being paid to promote dis and misinformation. Well, disinformation. And then there's a bunch of genuine people that listen to what they say because they're desperate for a hero who promote it. Those would be the people in the misinformation category. Most survivors, when they get into any public situation, whether it's like a senator's office or the city council or anything like that, they just spew this misinformation crap. And it starts with the targeted individual tagline. It starts there and then it goes on. But you are targeted, right? But you are not a targeted individual. That is a fake term. It means nothing. It's a goose egg to the public. They hear that term and they don't make anything of it. Not good, not bad. Maybe that you're a little kooky for repeating it over and over, but that's only if you repeat it over and over. They really don't care about it because you haven't used a real term, like a term that that society generally agrees on as a definition of something. You've used two words put together that have been said to you over and over and over in spaces like this and videos that will come from this, okay? It couldn't be farther from the truth. Targeted individual is a fake term. It means nothing. The term that does mean something, that relays your experience, is this: neural weapons, human trafficked survivor victim, however you want to phrase that. Because that's what's going on. Your body is being accessed remotely with certain sets of technologies that we can call neural weapons to produce desired societal change, right? Or personal, right? Like the assassinations, that type of thing. That's what it is. The mainstream society, the corporate society at the core of Western world, calls that Havana syndrome, the set of symptoms that these weapons give you when you're attacked by them. The military community has deemed them very recently neurostrike, all right? So you could even say Havana syndrome like human trafficking survivor or neurostrike human trafficking survivor. But when you leave out that human trafficking element, the general public will not perceive what's happening to you. If you call yourself a targeted individual, you're doing yourself a great disservice, and you're stopping yourself from being able to accurately talk. So a lot of conversation is, how am I human trafficked? I don't see anybody. They're not there. They're there. They're 100% there, and they are always there. And they're always trying to hide from you. Always. Well, not always. There comes to be a point when you demonstrate that you know where they're at and how they're doing these things, they stop trying to hide. They go the opposite route, which can be very, very stressful when they show themselves everywhere to you all the time. All right. If you think of it through that lens, there are human beings. We're in the human realm. All right. Everybody wants to think it's satellites and radio towers. And yes, satellites and radio towers are tools that these people will utilize. But it's not the main thing. The main thing is on the ground right next to you. Okay. That's why it's human trafficking. They are facilitating your interactions with your moment to moment. Okay. What is the definition of slavery? Stopping someone's free will, obtaining them or containing them, literally prohibiting them from moving about their environment. That has literally happened to you. Everyone here on the call that's truly targeted, that has happened to you multiple times, you know, and it's obvious too. Or you, like what Sandy was just talking about, she left and then people broke in right behind her. It's like, okay, well, that's not human trafficking, that's break-ins. No, the human trafficking is being facilitated with the break-ins. Because what do they do when they break in sometimes? Oftentimes, they'll poison your food, right? They'll poison your food. They'll spray chemicals like that guy we saw, Timothy Bradbury, with the raid cans, spraying it on your food, his clothes. There is no two ways about it. And until you realize this in your environment, or even in other people, what they're saying is true, and that you recognize the truth in what they're saying because you've had similar things happening to you, not only will you not be able to protect yourself, even with everything we've been teaching here, you will not be able to communicate with others effectively about what is happening to you. It is not synthetic telepathy, remote neural monitoring. Again, there's elements of truth to this, but very little. Hive mind manipulation, gang stalking, street theater, even V2K. These are all buzzwords designed to obfuscate the truth. So let's go down. Perpetrators is another one. Hyper game theory, that's one that's thrown around a little bit. I mean, that's a little bit different, but we'll get into it. So just going down the list, you're not targeted. You're not a targeted individual. You are targeted. You're not a targeted individual. You're a survivor of human trafficking. You could even say organ trafficking, because they're literally hitting your brain to figure out how to best hit other people's brains. So there's an element of organ trafficking right at the surface of that. Okay, so you're not a targeted individual. You're a survivor of human trafficking, of neural weapons human trafficking. You could say organ trafficking. Neural weapons human trafficking is the best way to describe it, in my opinion. Synthetic telepathy is not happening to you. All right? What's happening to you is your brain is being heated up through magnetic directed energy weapons primarily at different times to cause different thinking that goes along, or to affect your thinking that goes along with silent sound weapons, which is, quote, V2K. V2K is not real either. I mean, it is in the sense, yes, voice to skull, whatever. The real thing that's happening is ultrasonic weapons and microwave weapons being used to have you hear things. And primarily, 9 times out of 10, it's ultrasonic. So synthetic telepathy is not real. What's the real thing there? Nanomachinery resonating with directed energy weapons in your brain. I know that's sci-fi. That's sci-fi too. But one can be ostensibly, I think that's the right word, proved through literature that we can find in the public domain and the private domain, in the classified information and the unclassified. Because if you're doing something that's going across the world, you'll be able to find it in both sets of data. And people will say that's a bit of a herring because it's not always true. It's a bit of a fallacy because it's not always true. You'd be surprised. Everything that's done in the dark goes to the light eventually. So even the darkest, deepest secrets these people are doing to us survivors, will eventually be publicly disclosed. It's like that Robert McRae article, The War Inside Your Mind. Everybody should read that because he disclosed everything in that article. Everything. And the reason he did that is because he was in the military for a long time and he didn't like what he was seeing about what they had been doing to people overseas and domestically. And he said that. But either way, the big secret before that article was these nanowalkers. I knew they were out there. I didn't know what they were called. I didn't know where to find the public research. After that article, just Google nanowalkers, New York University, and you'll see list and list and list of publications relating to these nanobots that have already been applied in field applications, public field applications, and had profound results. That's, quote, nanobots. Nanobots are real, but the public calls them nanowalkers. Okay, you see what I'm getting at? All of these buzzwords are there to obfuscate the truth, and they're promoted by people that are either misinformed, and there's a lot of people that are misinformed. Quote, your average targeted individual calls themselves a targeted individual will go, I'm being affected with remote neural monitoring and synthetic telepathy. It's causing a hive mind manipulation. I'm being gang stalked everywhere. They're doing street theater, and my VTK won't stop talking. They just all, the average person, a human trafficker, neuroweapons human traffic survivor, they can't help themselves but just vomit this. And it's not your fault. That's not the point. But it is. It's word vomit. It means nothing. It's like that business talk. I'm sorry, I'm hitting that point too hard here. But it's like that business talk when you hear these corporate guys talk to each other. You know, it's the same thing. And we recognize that for what it is. It means nothing to us. It only means something to them. And it only generally means something to them. What's another one? Go ahead.
It's them defining it rather than us. And when you talk about targeted individuals, you can find that on Wikipedia. And again,
that's great. That's great. But still, when you go to talk to your cousins and you say, or whoever's in your life, and you say, have you ever heard of targeted individuals? What's that going to go? How's that going to go for you? Not just you, but anyone here.
Yeah, I have that problem at home.
Like for military?
Hold on, one person at a time. Kay first. Go ahead, Kay.
They sort of shape it as people who were imagining, it's always people who believe the government are after them, a little bit like Rusty Shackelford, that sort of thing. Yeah, the government's after you, sort of thing. And so you sound automatically crazy.
Well, that's good that you're even getting that reaction. I think most people would hear those words and not associate anything with it.
Tweet, tweet, tweet. Tweet, 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 tweet. Ooh, 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 ooh.